Yo, what's up, guys? This is gonna be Jojo Bizarre Adventure Part 5, episode, which episodes? 12, 13, and 14. But we're gonna talk about 12 and 13 together because they're kind of a pair of episodes, where 13 is a completely, like, not completely different, but it's different. So, if you continue on from 11, we get that they need to find, what is it? They have to find a key in that the boss has left them to find in this area. I forgot the name of the area. So and I like who Gujarati chose the people, or I like how um I just like how it saw it. So it's like it's basically Giorno with the two people that hate him the most. So it's Giorno, Abacino, and and what's it, Fugo. So obviously these three have the least chemistry as well. And Giorno, I don't know why Abacino hates Giorno. He just does. Like as soon as he speaks, he gets like shit on every time. Whereas with Mister and Fugo, they're all right with Giorno, I guess now. So it's a weird combination. But off these three go. So when they arrive in the destination, I don't know what the destination's called, but it's just like a bunch of rock formations. I guess like a museum kind of thing. But then they stumble across an enemy stand, one of the assassins, and he's I'm really bad with names, but I always remember the stand names. He's got the man in the mirror stand, which is on. Uh, unlike some of the other references to the stand musical names, I actually get this one. This one's a Michael Jackson one, 'cause like some of the other ones just go right over my head. Like where's Golden Wind from? Such as that, like a golden experience. I don't really understand it. I don't get all the references that Araki puts in. But obviously, it was like Sex Pistols and Man's in the Mirror. I get those ones. But this guy's got an interesting ability, to be honest. So if you look in the mirror, uh, the one he's inside, it was kind of trippy at first because all three of them are like in the area, and there's a mirror, and you can see the dude, and he tells them to turn around, but there's no one behind them, and he kind of just keeps walking forward, and like he can see the person walking forward, but there's no one behind, and at this point he realizes that the man's in the mirror, and he grabs him inside as well. So that this guy's got an interesting ability. He can drag people into a mirror world. This is quite good for assassination, to be honest. Like it's got the perfect job role because you can isolate enemies and just eliminate them one by one kind of thing. But he's an idiot though because he spares all three of them when he could have killed Fugo there and then. Because Fugo can't use his stand, but obviously because the way this is written, all three of them, they didn't get murdered, brutally murdered. So we get that was his ability, but obviously his stand did come with some limitations, such as the fact that his stand is physically weaker than other stands, due to the fact that the stand has to maintain the mirror world, so it uses a lot of energy doing that, so it can't really expert his energy as well to fight physically. This was demonstrated when Abagino's stand got inside there instead of him. Moody Jazz or Moody Blues, I forgot which one it was. Uh, so yeah, that was pretty interesting to learn. Oh, and then obviously the way Abagino finessed this dude was he's pretty smart as well. Cause I completely forgot his stand was like that, to be honest, and the way his stand was inside the mirror instead of him, and I also like this interesting what's it called, effect of his mirror world, that it what I call that if a stand user dragged into the mirror world, his stand can't come in, only he can come in. So that was pretty interesting. But yeah, and then but like in episode 12 and 13, they're kind of like part 1 and part 2 conclusion, so it's pretty good. That's what I'm talking about in one go. So we also get all of them trapped in the mirror world, not one way or another. so with Jonah being the last one to go in. But like we also get introduction to uh Fugo's backstory. So he was a smart kid, you know, he was very smart. He had a bright future, but he had a really bad temper. And well, I think it was implied that his university teacher. So he went to university at like a really young age. So you know he had a bright future, but his university lecturer was like kind of molesting him, and obviously, mm, and it was in the scene. It's kind of implied what the university teacher wants to do to Mister, and obviously it's pretty despicable if that was his implying. So obviously Mister with his short-term anger, what am I saying short-term? His really short fuse. He completely smacked the dude with I don't know, he smacked him with a book or something, and then but because of Mister's Fugo's parents were quite an affluent family. They managed to drop the charges, but then they just completely disowned him. I was like, that was pretty rough of them. So he ends up like living like a thug, and like he lives like a poor person, you know, stealing, like just trying to survive out there. But because he's got smarts, he knows how to exploit that, and then he became a quite good criminal. And then later on, he meets what happens actually? Yeah. Yeah, later on he meets Gujarati, and then he's like, and obviously these two team up together, and they form a group. So this kind of implies that Fugo was one of the first members of the gang. So it was probably him and Mister, and then or him, Mister, and Abacino. Then we know that Fugo. I mean, we know that what's it called? I keep getting the names mixed up now. Oh, Fugo. Oh my goodness, the little kid. Narancha, that's the one that he came afterwards for sure. So that we finally got all the crew's background story now. So that was pretty interesting. You know, he was like the last one who needed his background revealed. But I guess now that the boss's daughter's there as well, she needs a background explained as well. To be honest. So obviously, but then we get to see Fugo stand as well, and then we also find out how OP and deadly his stand is. So this dude's stand is like pretty much just death. It's literally a AOE field of death. He's got like a disease that's like really deadly, and it's got a really close range. So anything in a close proximity can will catch the disease and die within like 30 seconds of getting infected. We see the birds melt and stuff, but then that's pretty much the end of episode one. And then what happens is because the Mr. Fugo he unleashes his purple haze out, but he doesn't know where the purple haze is because he's in the mirror world and he's on the outside, so he's going for a rampage. But then Giorno, I don't know, crazy dude, he gets himself infected, right? And then he gets himself trapped in the mirror world. And then, you know, the outplays here, because he's infected, he tries to go close to the other dude and try to get him infected. He does get infected, and Jonah expects him to escape, right? But only to find that the purple haze is there, and he gets bald. He gets big bald out there. And then the way Jonah turned that brick into a snake was pretty crazy as well. And then I don't know, it felt like a bit BS, but the way it was just I don't know, it was just too what's it called it was just too well thought out when he and the snake makes anti venom and he bites Jono and Jono's fine. Oh, that was pretty crazy. But this dude got bald. Like this purple haze seems broken, you know. Like how are you gonna fight something that gives you like death as soon as you touch it or even get close to it? Definitely a broken stand to be honest. But I guess it has its drawbacks because you can't really use it against allies or use it when allies are nearby because they have a chance of getting caught in it as well. But yeah, and then that's kind of like the defeat of man's in the mirror. And then the latest chapter, I mean, episode, I'm getting all mixed up today, but yeah, the latest episode 14. It's like a new, it's more of the assassins. I quite enjoy this, and then we get my favorite assassin, Pineapple Head. Pineapple Head Boy or Raccoon or from Dragon Ball Z. The Pineapple Boy is in there, and he's got an interesting stand as well. He's like it's like a fishy boy, or that's why it's called Fisher Boy, and he's kind of like got a fishing rod, and he can like grab people. It's like a fishing rod, and then the other dude's got like an aging one. Like his stand ages people. That's pretty. Yo, all these stands are crazy. They're all crazy broken. But we can just see people aging, and then a bit of science with the whole women have more fat in their body, so they stay colder. We see a bit of that science applied here, and then we find out that the stand is actually discriminating people by their body heat. So the hotter you are, the more quickly you'll age. Which was actually quickly explained because while I was watching it, I was like, this seems a bit BS that you guys haven't, like those two haven't aged. And then that's what I was questioning, but my question was quickly answered when he explained the whole concept. Jono I like how Jono's all old. He's like, yo, wait, let me drop some knowledge on you fools, you idiots. So that's pretty cool. But then I wonder how Mister's gotta destroy these two and kill them real quick. But he's been caught in a bait now, so this is gonna be quite problematic. Mister is definitely one of my he's my favorite supporting character so far out of the group so far. So I hope nothing bad really happens to him, and I hope he can beat two of them in one. I want to see how he's gonna do that. It's gonna look really looking forward to that one.